The Arihant-Class nuclear ballistic submarine program of India. Introduction: The strategic importance of nuclear ballistic missile submarines. The development of nuclear ballistic missile submarines represents one of the most significant milestones in the evolution of modern military power. Among the most important programs in this domain is India's Arihant-Class submarine project, which forms the cornerstone of the country's sea-based nuclear deterrent, nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, commonly known as SSBNs, are widely considered the most survivable and strategically stable component of a nation's nuclear arsenal. By operating silently beneath the ocean's surface and carrying nuclear-tipped ballistic missiles capable of striking targets thousands of kilometers away, these submarines provide a reliable second strike capability even if a country's land-based and air-based nuclear forces are destroyed. India's Arihant-class submarines represent the culmination of decades of technological development, strategic planning, and geopolitical necessity. Designed and constructed largely within India, the class symbolizes the country's growing industrial capability and its ambition to maintain a credible nuclear deterrent in an increasingly complex regional security environment. The concept of the nuclear triad. A concept underlying the Arihant program is the nuclear triad, a strategic framework that distributes nuclear weapons across three delivery platforms: land-based missiles, strategic bombers, and submarine-launched ballistic missiles. The logic of the triad is rooted in survivability and redundancy. By diversifying nuclear delivery systems, a nation ensures that no single attack can neutralize its entire nuclear arsenal. Within this triad, nuclear submarine-based nuclear weapons occupy a particularly important role. Land-based missiles are vulnerable to preemptive strikes, and strategic bombs require operational air bases and air superiority. Submarines, however, operate covertly beneath the ocean and are extremely difficult to detect or to destroy. As a result, they serve as the ultimate guarantor of retaliatory strikes after in nuclear strategy. India's nuclear triad includes land-based ballistic missiles such as the Agni series, air-delivered nuclear weapons carried by fighter aircraft, and submarine-launched ballistic missiles deployed on board the Arihant-class submarines. The completion of this triad significantly strengthened India's strategic posture and enhanced the credibility of its nuclear doctrine. Origins of India's nuclear submarine program. The origins of India's nuclear submarine program date back to the Cold War period. During the 1970s and 80s, India began exploring the possibility of a developing developing a nuclear-powered submarine capability under a highly classified initiative known as the Advanced Technology Vessel (ATV) project. This program aimed to provide India with the technological expertise required to build nuclear propulsion systems, underwater launch capabilities, and stealth submarine designs. The project progressed slowly due to the complexity of nuclear submarine construction. Building an SSBN requires mastery of several highly specialized technologies, including compact nuclear reactors, advanced metallurgy, quiet propulsion systems, underwater missile launch mechanisms, acoustic stealth design. Only a handful of nations have successfully mastered these technologies. India received assistance from several external parties during the early stages of development. Russia, in particular, played an important role in providing technological expertise and leasing nuclear-powered submarines to help train Indian crews and engineers. These experiences provide valuable knowledge that eventually contributed to the development of India's indigenous submarine program. Launch and commissioning of INS Arihant. The first submarine of the class, INS Arihant, marked a historical achievement for India. Launched in 2009 at the Shipbuilding Center in Visakhapatnam, the submarine underwent an extended period of sea trials and testing before being commissioned into the Indian Navy in 2016. INS Arihant represented India's first indigenously constructed nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine. Its commissioning placed India among a very small group of countries capable of designing and operating SSBNs. Prior to India, only the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, France, and China had developed such systems. The successful deployment of INS Arihant demonstrated India's ability to integrate nuclear propulsion, missile launch systems, and advanced submarine stealth technologies into a functioning strategic weapon platform. This achievement marked a major milestone in India's defense modernization efforts. Expansion of the Arihant class fleet. Following the commissioning of the INS Arihant, India continued to expand its SSBN fleet with additional submarines based on the same design but incorporating gradual improvements. The second submarine, INS Arighaat, entered service as an improved variant of the original design. Subsequent submarines in the class include INS Aridhaman and a fourth submarine currently referred to as S4 is under construction, which is expected to be commissioned under the name INS Arisudan. These later submarines incorporate structural modifications and enhanced military capacity, reflecting the gradual evolution of India's submarine engineering capabilities. By late 2020s, India is expected to operate four Arihant-class submarines at various stages of readiness, including operational patrol and sea trials. This fleet will provide India with a continuous at-sea deterrent capability, ensuring that at least one submarine is always deployed on patrol. Technical design and engineering characteristics. The Arihant-class submarines are nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines designed primarily for strategic deterrence missions. The submarines featured a pressurized water reactor that provides virtually unlimited operational endurance. Unlike conventional diesel-electric submarines, nuclear-powered submarines do not require frequent surfacing for refueling, allowing them to remain submerged for months at a time. The submarines measure approximately 110 meters in length and displacement between 6,000 and 7,000 tons, depending on the specific variant. Their design incorporates hydrodynamic shaping and acoustic dampening technologies, leading to reduced noise and minimized detection by enemy sonar systems. Stealth is one of the most critical aspects of submarine design. To achieve this, Arihant-class submarines incorporate sound-absorbing materials, isolated machinery mounts, and specially designed propellers that reduce cavitation noise. These measures make the submarines significantly harder to detect by any anti-submarine warfare systems. The crew complement typically consists of around 90 to 100 personnel, including officers, nuclear engineers, sonar operators, weapons specialists, and submarine technicians. Operating a nuclear submarine requires extensive training and specialized expertise due to complexity of the onboard systems. Missile system and strategic armament. The primary purpose of the Arihant-class submarine is to carry submarine-launched ballistic missiles capable of delivering nuclear warheads. Two main missile systems are associated with the class, the K-15 Sagarika missile and the K-4 intermediate range ballistic missile. The K-15 has a range of approximately 750 kilometers and represents India's first operational submarine-launched ballistic missile capability. While its range is relatively limited compared with modern intercontinental ballistic missiles, it provides India with a functional sea-based nuclear capability. The more advanced K-4 missile significantly expands the submarine strike capability, with estimates suggesting a reach of approximately 3,500 kilometers. This extended range allows submarines to operate safely within protected waters, while still maintaining the ability to strike strategic targets at long distances. Missiles are stored within vertical launch systems, the VLS, tubes located behind the submarine's sail structure. These launch tubes allow missiles to be fired from beneath the ocean surface, using compressed gas ejection systems before the missile engines ignite. Evolution of missile capacity. One of the most significant design improvements in the later Arihant-class submarine involved the expansion of missile capacity. The first two submarines in the class are equipped with four vertical launch tubes capable of carrying either multiple short-range missiles or a smaller number of long-range missiles. The later submarines, including INS Aridhaman and the future INS Arisudan, incorporate an extended hull section that increases the number of launch tubes from 4 to 8. This modification effectively doubles the submarine's missile capacity and significantly enhances its strategic effectiveness. The additional hull section increases the submarine's displacement to roughly 7,000 tons and provides additional internal space for missile shortage and launch systems. These improvements reflect India's growing experience in submarine engineering and strategic weapons integration. Strategic role in the Indian Ocean. The Arihant class submarines are primarily intended to operate within the Indian Ocean region where they provide a secure, survivable nuclear deterrence against potential adversaries. The Indian Ocean holds immense strategic importance due to its vital maritime trading routes and its proximity to several nuclear-armed states. By deploying SSBNs in this region, India ensures that its nuclear deterrent remains credible even in the event of a major conflict. Submarines can patrol vast ocean areas and remain hidden from enemy detection systems, making them extremely difficult targets for adversaries. The presence of nuclear ballistic missile submarines also contribute to strategic stability by discouraging nuclear aggression. If an adversary knows that retaliation is inevitable due to undetectable submarines at sea, the incentive for launching a first strike is greatly reduced. Nuclear doctrine and the second strike capability. India's nuclear doctrine is based on the principle of no first use, meaning that nuclear weapons will only be used in retaliation to a nuclear attack. This doctrine requires a reliable second strike capability to ensure that retaliation remains possible even if the country's nuclear infrastructure is attacked. SSBNs are uniquely suited to fulfill this requirement because submarines operate covertly beneath the ocean. Their locations remain unknown to adversaries. Even if a surprise attack destroys land-based missile silos and air bases, a hidden submarine can launch retaliatory strikes. The Arihant-Class submarine therefore served as the backbone of India's nuclear deterrence strategy. Their ability to remain hidden for extended periods ensured that India's nuclear arsenal cannot be neutralized in a single attack. Indigenous industrial development. One of the most significant achievements of the Arihant program is the high level of indigenous technological development involved in the project. The latest submarines in the class reportedly incorporate more than 80% domestically produced components. This level of domestic participation reflects the growth of India's defense industry and its increasing ability to produce complex military technologies independently. The construction of nuclear submarines requires advanced capabilities in metallurgy, nuclear engineering, electronics, propulsion systems, and weapons integration. By mastering these technologies, India has strengthened its strategic autonomy and reduced dependency on foreign suppliers for critical defense systems. Future submarine development, the S-5 program. The Arihant-class submarines represents an important milestone. They are only the first generation of strategic submarine fleet. India is already planning a next generation known as the S-5 program. The S-5 submarines are expected to be significantly larger than the Arihant-class boats, with an estimated displacement of approximately 13,500 tons. This would place them among the largest ballistic missile submarines in the world. The larger size will allow submarines to carry more powerful long-range missiles, potentially including submarine-launched intercontinental missile. The first S-5 submarine is expected to enter service in the early 2030s. The integration with nuclear attack submarine. In addition to ballistic missile submarines, India is also developing nuclear-powered attack submarines under Project 77. Unlike SSBNs with focus on nuclear deterrence, attack submarines are designed for conventional naval warfare missions. These missions include escorting ballistic missile submarines, tracking enemy vessels, gathering intelligence, and engaging hostile ships and submarines. Attack submarines therefore play an important supporting role in protecting strategic assets such as SSBNs. India is also expected to lease additional nuclear attack submarines from Russia to strengthen its submarine capabilities during the transition period. Strategic implications for regional security. The development of the Arihant-class submarines has significant implications for the balance of power in Asia. The balance of sea-based nuclear forces enhances India's strategic stability and complicates the calculation of potential adversaries. In South Asia, India's primary nuclear competitors include Pakistan and China. Pakistan maintains a doctrine that allows for potential first-use nuclear weapons, while China also operates a growing fleet of ballistic missile submarines. The existence of survivable nuclear deterrents on both sides contribute to a complex strategic equilibrium. While such companies increase destructive potential, they also reduce the likelihood of a nuclear war by making total victory impossible for any side. Conclusion. The strategic legacy of the Arihant class. The Arihant class submarine program represents one of the most ambitious defense projects undertaken by India. Through decades of research, engineering, and strategic planning, India has successfully joined the limited group of nations capable of constructing nuclear powered ballistic missile submarines. These submarines provide the foundation for India's sea based nuclear deterrent and ensure that the country retains a credible second strike capability. Under its no first use doctrine, as India continues to expand its submarine fleet and develop more advanced systems such as the S5 class, the Arihant program will remain a defining milestone in the evolution of its strategic military capabilities. The Arihant-Class submarines therefore stand not only as a powerful weapon but also as symbols of technological advancement, strategic independence, and the evolving role of naval power in the nuclear age.